Hello everyone, welcome to this brand new HTML and CSS course. In this course, we are going to learn the building blocks of creating any website or web application. These are the most widely used front-end languages. We are going to learn HTML and CSS from ground up. We are going to learn enough HTML and CSS so that we can start building user interfaces and websites. Just to give you a brief introduction about the course, we are going to start with HTML first and learn all the elements it has to offer. Then we are going to switch to CSS language, and that's what gives different colors and look for all the websites. Let's first talk about the prerequisites for the course. You do not need to have any previous knowledge or experience with any of these technologies. We are going to start from scratch for both of these languages, so you do not need to worry about them. You do need a computer with web browser and a code editor set up in it. I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code as my preferred text editor and Google Chrome as the web browser. But you can use any code editor of your choice. For clarity, when I say code editor, IDE, or text editor, they mean the same thing. I will use these terms interchangeably. There are many other options available in the market like Atom, Sublime Text, or even as simple as Notepad++. And please note that Notepad++ is not the same as the Notepad that ships with Windows operating system. It's a different text editor that you may need to install separately. Let's first talk about what these text editors are. Text editors are used to write any programming language code. The benefit of using this is that it gives you nice syntax highlighting, so it becomes easier to find errors when you are typing them. These errors are sometimes also referred to as bugs in computer programming. We will start using code editor from the next video. So that's all about the prerequisites. Now let's talk about what HTML is. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's a markup language. Any text, image, or data you see on any of the website or web application are actually written using HTML language. Markup languages wrap the content with some more information about the data. It provides some context about the information it's wrapping, and that's what helps applications to represent them differently. For example, the web browsers display different markup elements differently, as we will see in this course. There are many other markup languages like XML, DHTML, and there are a few more, but web browsers mostly use HTML. Let's get a little bit familiar with the HTML code in the next slide. Here I have got a very simple HTML code. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense at all. We are gonna go through all of this in the upcoming videos, and at the end of the course, it will all become natural to you. So let's define few important terminologies here. HTML is written in tags. Everything with angle brackets is called a tag. I have this div tag and then image tag followed by h1 tag. Now tags are usually written in pairs. So it will have an opening tag and a closing tag. Similarly here, you can see that this UL tag has opening and closing tag. If you look at them carefully, they are very similar to each other except for the fact that the closing tags have this / in them. Everything from starting tag to ending tag is called an element. For example, this complete section is called UL element, and this selected part is called nav element. So now we know what are tags and what are elements. In HTML, elements can be nested one inside another. For example, here you can see that our div tag is wrapping all of these other tags. So div element is called the parent element, whereas these inner elements are called the child elements. Also, there is something different about this img tag, which stands for an image. It's used when we want to display an image on our website. You can see that it does not have the closing tag. We have this one as the opening tag, but there is no image tag that starts with /. It doesn't wrap any content, and that's why it doesn't have any closing tag. This is called self-closing tag. We will talk about this one more time when we talk about image tag in later videos. It also has this text which looks like key and value. Here it has this src as the key, and it's assigned some value as photo.jpg. This is called an attribute in HTML. Most of the tags in HTML have some form of attributes. These are special symbols or commands to display them a little bit differently. For example, in this case, it's displaying an image file with the name photo.jpg. If you want to display different file, you just have to replace this file name with the file name you want to display. So, in a way, it allows us to customize the same image tag to display different images. Again, these are called attributes, and we will discuss about them as we go along with our lessons. Now, before we actually move on to coding, I would like to give you some tips which may be helpful. Just keep this in mind that you are learning something new, and it takes time to learn anything new. So take it slow and have some patience. If this is your first coding course, then learn one concept at a time. Repeat the same video lesson multiple times if you don't understand them. Don't rush through the course materials because that won't help you anyway. Also, it's a good idea to take some breaks when you are learning complicated stuff. One important point that I would like to mention is that you may feel frustrated. This is the normal feeling everyone goes through when they start learning to code, but please hang on there and it will slowly become natural to you. It's only a matter of building few pages yourself, and then the syntax will stick in your brain. If you still have any questions, anything you don't understand, feel free to ask questions. Ask your questions clearly with some information, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Before we end this video, let me show you how the code I showed in the last slide looks in the web browser. Again, we will go through all of this throughout this course, and you will have lots of practice with all these tags. Here, I have opened up this codepen.io website. It's an online code editor. You can write all HTML code inside this HTML section, and it will display your content at the bottom. Let me copy and paste this code here, and for the moment, let's remove this image tag, and here you can see that it displays all of this text nicely. This li becomes bulleted list, and this content inside h1 displays in nice bold format. So that's just a glimpse of what we are going to learn. In the next video, let's start coding using our code editor.